The Search Podcast USA Edition series is sponsored by Ascen. Ascen is a top employer of record in North America that exclusively helps staffing and recruitment agencies hire contractors compliantly throughout the US and Canada. Ascen's all-in-one white-label platform handles onboarding, timesheets, payroll, benefits, insurance, invoicing, and optional financing so you can grow quickly in the US and Canada. Start growing your staffing agency in the US today with Ascen. Visit us at ascen.com.
This episode is sponsored by Recruiterflow, the true AI native recruiting software with enterprise-grade depth. With Recruiterflow, you will get a full ATS and CRM with Recruiterflow's intelligence layer running through every workflow. Recruiterflow is known for being the first to launch campaigns for recruiters, first to introduce AI agents natively, not as an add-on, and now the first to bring the true natural language search in the industry, offering you everything you need to future-proof your business, your search, and your recruiting processes. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to a new episode of the Search Podcast. I'm Elliott Manning, the Managing Director of Cayman Recruitment Group. As you know, the whole series has been based on the US market, talking to multiple founders that are already based in the US, looking to move to the US, exploring the US, thinking about the US. On this week's episode, I've brought a guest on who's actually a client of Cayman's, new business, very reputable person, and I will let him take away an introduction because I don't want to ruin that for you, mate. So you take it away.
Awesome. I appreciate you having me on the pod, Elliott. My name is Dylan Hoyle. So I'm the founder of Vector. Vector is a search firm that's focused exclusively within the early stage VC-backed AI and infrastructure sector. So typically we focus on two arms of the business. One is helping them on the go-to-market side, sales, marketing, customer success. The other arm of the business is on products and engineering. So AI researchers, ML engineers, full stack backend, the whole suite. We're a new business. Fortunately for me, I've got Cayman helping me build the team. So excited to get into it on the pod.
Awesome, mate. Awesome. And Dylan, tell us a bit more about your journey, because this wasn't your first kind of rodeo, I suppose, in the US. And ultimately you've been living over there now for some time. When did you actually decide to go and be and live in stateside?
Yeah, the day after Silicon Valley Bank went bust.
Really? Was that coincidental? I suppose.
That was coincidental. So I was with a previous search firm called Strive for 7 years. So I was one of their first employees that he hired in the Manchester office, helped build out their EMEA HQ. But we always had a vision of having the US expansion. And fortunately for myself, I was offered the opportunity alongside John Hitchin, one of the owners, to relocate to the States. So February 2023, we officially moved over and launched the Tampa office. But for the 18 months prior to that, I'd been working 8 till 1 in the morning on the EMEA market in the morning, US market in the afternoon, evening, and early hours. So it was a grind to get over here. We got here, bright eyes. We were so excited. The day after we moved, Silicon Valley Bank went bust. All of our clients said that we're stopping hiring, and it was a serious grind for the first year. Put it that way.
Yeah, I'll do it now, the 8 till 1s, and I love it. I absolutely love it. And
do you?
Honestly, I do. I really do. Everyone thinks I'm absolutely insane, but I do have to break it up, and I do try and get as many paddle sessions in the evenings as possible in the week, so I don't have to work. But no, it's good. Why Tampa, I suppose, is one of the first questions I wanted to ask, because I always refer, if someone said to me, "Where's your top 3 locations to be in the US?" Tampa's on my top 3. Had you been there before? Why Tampa? Where did that come from?
So I think for us, right, when we thought about the headquarters of where we wanted to be, it came out of 3 parameters, right? So I think number one, we'd be naive if we weren't saying aspects of it was tax purposes, right? No income tax. The business taxes are fairly low here. So from actually taking home more for our employees and 2 for the organization, it made sense. Secondly, obviously one of our models is hiring, training and developing young individuals with a very high ceiling. And on the back of COVID, Tampa actually had the most college applications in the whole of the US. So we thought from like a graduate talent pool perspective, if they have the most college applications and they've also got some great sports teams, it's going to allow us to cherry pick some of the great individuals to bring into the organization from a development perspective. And the third aspect is always lifestyle.
Yeah,
Did we want to live in the hustle and bustle cities, or do we want to live by the beach and the palm trees with easy navigation to the rest of the US? So they were like
absolutely.
the three parameters. We looked at Charlotte, Austin, and Tampa. The third part of the criteria sort of tipped over the rest of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you know what? I've got a bit of a confession because I've obviously worked with Strive for a long time and you guys, in the business. So when I was looking in, when I now advise businesses about where to be in the US and the best places to go, I talk about this whole college, talent pool that is, that's there as an opportunity. So when you take the likes of Austin, even Boston, for example, as well as Tampa and even Charlotte, North Carolina, like the talent pool for graduate junior talent is phenomenal because of these sports teams and these colleges and, and so forth. And I really, it really opened up my eyes in the American markets a couple of years ago as to like why these locations are, creating those better opportunities for firms that have got high growth kind of plans.
And also,
Um,
like the
yeah,
other side of it as well, mate, is that like this is a place where a lot of I don't want to say snowbirds, right? But like a lot of individuals and families out of the New York, the Boston area, which are very hustle and bustle, like very like a lot of tech companies up there, but a lot of sales culture. A lot of them end up relocating down to Tampa. So when you have the college side of it, but it's a great place for a lot of individuals from the Northeast to come and
yeah.
relocate. So like from a talent pool perspective, particularly with like junior talent, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. And it's proven to work phenomenally well for the business at Strive. And I'm sure it will for you guys at the same time. One thing I want to ask as well, like, with about, being now in Tampa, getting away from those 8 to 1 long days, what difference have you seen or did you see rather being, physically on the ground in the US compared to being, in the UK doing those hours and trying to work at it? Like what was the difference or the shift?
Yeah, listen, I think respect is a big thing. And what I mean by respect is that, like, if you hear about the journey of an organization starting in Europe, relocating out to the States, building out something big and trying to do something special, and I don't want to sound corny with the American dream piece of it, but like people respect the ambition and the hustle of coming over to do it. So I think that's one piece of it. Secondly, like I can hop on a flight this morning, I can be with a customer in the afternoon. So like we
Yeah,
do a lot of travel to San Francisco, to New York, to Boston, whether it's hosting roundtables, going to conferences, even just taking a client for dinner. Obviously we can get on a flight in the morning, we could be there in the afternoon. So that's one aspect of it. And I think that the piece is being on the time zone and making more at the day, particularly on the West Coast, right? Because if you think about Vector's focus within early stage AI and infrastructure startups, the vast majority of companies are out of Silicon Valley, therefore they're on Pacific time zone. And for
yeah.
me, when I was in the UK doing it,
That's
at
horrible, those
5
hours.
p.m. in the afternoon, it's 8 a.m. over in San Francisco, right? So a lot of the customers for us and a lot of the roles that we're filling are in San Fran. To be able to maximize the day, i.e., working till 8 o'clock and catching them on the way home at 5, it was just massively valuable to maximize the potential of what we were doing with the work.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I completely agree. And I have that problem now. But ultimately, for you guys in the market that you're in, it seems like is a vital step to do it all in the right way and to do it properly. So you left, Strive, moved on from Strive, to do your own thing. Tell us a little bit more about, that kind of stepping stone. And also, I'm really interested to know, and I never actually got to ask you this, where did the name come from?
Yeah. I'll start with the name. So, like, when I was thinking of Vector, right, I knew the market that I wanted to go and focus on, right? Because Strive, a go-to-market talent, in my eyes, they're the best that ever do it in the go-to-market space. But they're quite tech agnostic, i.e., they can look at cybersecurity, data, developer tooling, AI, infrastructure, biz apps, martech. They're tech agnostic, but they're role specific, right? And I had a great journey over there. I was the number one performer for 5 years. Last year had the best year of my career. Probably people thought I was crazy to want to leave when I was doing what I was doing. I've just always had a maniacal passion, and I said this to Adam in my first ever interview at 19, that I want to go and start my own business someday. And literally last year, a year before I'd left, I said to John and Adam, I said, listen, this is probably going to be my last year in the business. I'm going to go and achieve the $1 million this year. That's the goal that I've always set out. I've become a director. I've done everything that I want to go and do. Like, this is the journey for me next. I'm fortunate enough for me, Adam and John are unbelievable individuals. They've supported me in every aspect of my journey. And they said, listen, Dill, you're ready to go and do your own thing. Would you allow us the opportunity to go and invest in you? And for me, choosing a business partner is really important because one, the trust has to be there, right? You have to trust these individuals with every decision. Two, you have to respect their ability and credibility within the space, and they're going to add value to the business. And three, being able to go on a journey with some of my best friends is amazing for me. And then obviously from a business perspective, although we're a startup and we're freshly launched, we have the infrastructure of a multi-million pound recruitment organization. We have a marketing director, finance director, operations director. We have non-execs with Adam and John from an advisory capacity, and then all of the tooling, technology infrastructure is all set up. So it's going to allow me to really accelerate growth for the business. So that's how the sort of journey came around in terms of starting it. In terms of the name of the organization, I wanted to name what one resonates with the technical audience. So in AI technology, a vector is how the models communicate and understand to each other, right? So as soon as a technical founder sees that name, it's going to resonate to them, but it also has a duality meaning. So in mathematics, a vector is a quantity that is defined by both direction and magnitude. And the way that I see recruitment, it's not about just filling a role. It's about adding velocity and force to the growth of a business, right? So with the duality meaning, I was like, I found the one, let's go for it. When I went and tried to buy the domains, I thought maybe I've made a mistake because the domain that I wanted was 25 grand. So that's how we landed on the one we did. But yeah, that's the story, and that's how we named Vector.
It's nice. It's actually, well, it makes perfect sense. I didn't actually ever think of it like that. I have come across the terminology before, but it's also a nice story to have about the journey and obviously where it's come from, rather than just picking out a name, name out of the hat of X recruitment, bit like Cayman recruitment. I just cut them really random. You've actually got a definition to your purpose and your market, which people will relate to. So what's the plans with the business, Dylan? Like, what's the next steps? What's the journey at the moment? Where do you want to see yourself come towards the end of this year with the business?
Yeah. So, like, listen, the first 5 months is the typical story of starting a business. I'm currently in a 6 foot by 6 foot office. I've been working 70 hours a week getting this thing off the ground, right? And it was an intentional decision to, one, build the brand, two, build the reputation, but three, have some like real key accounts for the business that we can go and scale from. And we were really lucky with some of the early logos that we brought on board on some of the projects that we're completing. The second half of this year, as you know, is around like assembling the founding team, right? So at the moment we've just hired one person, hopefully going to hire a second person tomorrow, and another two people coming in next week. So we aim to be a team of 5 that they're going to be starting in August, right? And for me, it's about assembling a group of individuals with a very high ceiling and a high potential, right? And hopefully me being able to allow them to unlock that potential, right? Helping them see what's possible, helping develop the skill set, but also creating a culture where individuals aren't afraid to fail is going to be the biggest thing. When I started in my recruitment career, I was shit scared to jump on the phone. I was maybe going off the floor to go and do a video. Like, it was a real daunting environment. After a while, I realized that you can actually fail in front of people, and it's the best thing for your own development. I want to create that culture of where, one, we're allowed to fail in front of each other, but two, we celebrate the wins and losses. So this year is about assembling a fantastic team. But I'll be honest, my ambition is not to run a 100 person company. That's not my goal for the organization. I think, number one, with the use of AI tooling nowadays, you can run a little bit leaner in general. But number two, like, my ambition is to run a lean, high performing organization of individuals that bill a lot of money, earn a lot of money, and have a lot of fun while they're doing it. Don't get me wrong. I still want to assemble a great team and maybe get to 20, 25, 30 individuals. But for me, it's important to maximize the productivity and make sure that everybody has a platform to go and achieve what they want to achieve, rather than just getting a load of people in for the sake of it and going for a quick exit. That's not the goal for it, essentially.
How much opportunity is there in your marketplace? Because the tech startup world is absolutely booming. It's always the talk of the town in every aspect of everything we do in tech recruitment. What opportunity do people have in your space that you're all going after and can provide?
In Q1, there was over $1 billion in funding specifically in one corner of my market.
Yeah,
Like the opportunity is absolutely endless. So at the moment, we're specifically on the VC back side of it. There's a big opportunity in the PE backed aspects of the industry, which we will go into in the future. There's also a couple of things from an enterprise selling motion, right, where a lot of organizations are looking to start implementing certain AI divisions, right? And they're going to need the talent to support it. So, like, the market is endless, particularly in the VC space, but there are so many different arms of the business that you can probably get blinded by the opportunity if you try and run
yeah,
at every single direction. I think it's really important in the beginning and also like as you build your career to stay focused and stay niched within a specific sector. Like for me, the biggest goal for Vector, yes, do not get me wrong, like I am a financially driven individual who wants to earn as much money as I possibly can. But the reason that I wanted to go and start my own business was because money stopped being the main driver.
yeah,
And as corny as it sounds, like my vision for Vector is we all know that AI is going to transform the world, right? We all know that this is the next revolution of what's going to happen in mankind. But I want to look back in 10, 15, 20 years and see certain organizations think Vector played a very small part in
yeah,
the adoption of AI globally. And as corny as it sounds, like it's about impact. Somebody once said to me earlier in my career, "Do you want to go and make a dent in the universe?" I do. I want to
yeah.
make a dent in the universe. Like that's the goal for it.
And this is your mission to do that moving forward. Amazing, mate.
Yeah,
Fun.
that's the mission. But also, like the biggest thing for me is as well realizing it now is that like I was given an opportunity earlier in my career to one realize my potential, two travel the world globally and see different things and see different cultures, three earn a shitload of money.
Yeah,
But four, I was given a platform to allow me to do all of that, and I want to give that opportunity and platform back to individuals. It's a real big driver of mine because like if you align an individual's goals with the business's goals in pursuit of a shared outcome, everybody wins, right? That's what I want to do with the team going forward.
yeah. What I want to know is, and kind of coming towards the end of our conversation, like there's a lot of firms that do a lot of this area of recruitment, this space. Like, how do you generally think, it's best to set yourself aside to everybody else that's in the same market, going after the same, golden nugget of the, these invested businesses and startups? Like, what can you do differently to stand out?
Yeah. So listen, the biggest thing for us is right is that we have an ICP, an ideal customer profile, i.e., if an organization is within the specific technologies in which we work in, and they're between seed and Series C in their funding journey, objectively they're a good customer for us. But there's a lot of subjective characteristics that fall into it, i.e., we're not here to fill one or two roles. We're here to build organizations, and that's why we try and get in as early as possible and be a value added partner to go through the growth journey with them. Whereas I think a lot of organizations are there to just fill a role, right? I want to be an extension of an internal recruitment function. I want to be on all of the internal Slack communications, team communications. I want to be on their ATS as one of their like actual employees for it. So it's not just about being an external partner. It's about actually believing and being a value added partner for the business in terms of helping them go and grow and scale. So I should never be seen as some external contractor.
Yeah,
I should be seen as an internal team member. And because that's the mentality that the business has, it allows us to be the recruiter for the organization and go on the journey with them. So I
yeah,
think that's one aspect of it. But I think secondly, like you have to have context around the businesses. You have to have context around the candidates. You have to have context around the sales cycles and the customers that our partners have. So like a lot of recruitment organizations, they see AI the same as MarTech or they see MarTech the same as cybersecurity, but like it's all very individual and different. Like you have to have all of the context around a certain business, their product, their technology, and their people, so that you actually know what you're looking for from a talent
yeah.
perspective. They're the two things that I really focus on to try and set us apart because it is a competitive space and it's only going to get more competitive, right? So I really try and home in on those two things.
And the fact, I mean, I think what stood out to me with you guys and something that we, can see is going to really change the game for you based on what you've been doing in the past is that face-to-face added value that we spoke about before. Being able to get in front of all the right companies in these conference events and these round tables and putting yourself right in front of them physically. Whereas a lot of firms that are doing this, whether they're in the UK or even some of them in the US, they don't do that enough and they don't build the right relationships. Hence why they get all those ad hoc jobs here and there and a bit more transactional recruitment led.
When we do the roundtables, Elliot, we
Yeah.
don't sell Strive or Vector or Recruitment. All we are there to do when we host the roundtable, we pick a specific topic, whether it's how to go from 0 to 1 million ARR, how to go from 1 to 10, how to go from 10 to 50, how to enable AI into your business. So we pick a topic and we also bring together a group surrounding that topic, but we don't sell recruitment.
No.
We don't sell the business. It's all about connecting individuals and making people have a great experience. And hopefully that in turn in the future, people see it as, oh, they connected me to this person. Like we've connected to people who've then got funding raises on the back of it. Or we've connected people to customers who've then gone and signed them for big contracts. So like it's all around connecting individuals and being a value add rather than just saying, oh yeah, let's get everyone in the room and let's pitch some recruitment and say we're the best in the world.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that.
No, you're adding that immediate value, building that immediate, straight away, building that rapport with them, and ultimately building that relationship, which long term will only benefit you in one way or another, and them at the same time. So yeah, I can definitely see why that works for you. But Dylan, look, I'm excited for you, mate, and you've got. I can even just listening to you and hearing the passion that you have is unbelievable for the business and what you're trying to achieve. I only wish you the best of success with it, really do. If there's any final pointers that you want to throw out to those listening in that are thinking about working in the US, going to the US, being involved in your business, is there anything you would like to add?
Yeah, last two pieces of advice are things that I live and breathe by, and I say it to everyone. So if anybody interviews with me, they'll have heard the same advice. It doesn't matter about the business. It doesn't matter about the market. It doesn't matter about the industry. Find a great manager, a great leader, a great mentor, and the rest will fall into place. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. If you find someone great who really cares and wants to see you realize your potential, doesn't matter about the rest of it. Follow one person, the rest will figure itself out. The second piece is earlier in my career, I chased commission and I chased money. The moment that I stopped chasing money and I started chasing mastery, I started chasing becoming elite at anything that I did, whether it's on the candidate side, BD, account management, pitches, calls, full calls. The moment I started chasing mastery and becoming elite at something, the rest always figured itself out. So as difficult as it sounds to stop thinking about the money and stop thinking about the commission, become elite. You could be the greatest garbage man in the world. You would earn a lot of money from doing it. Just become elite and be a master, whatever it is you did. The rest figures itself out.
Absolutely, mate. Wow. Okay. On that note, it's incredible advice. Even makes me start thinking about what I'm doing. No, honestly, mate, incredible. And I definitely think that would be our snippet to this podcast going out to market. That's for sure. Dylan, thank you very much for jumping on this with me. There's a lot of interesting areas that we could discuss a hell of a lot more. But I'll put your contact details out with the podcast that goes to market across all platforms. If anyone wants to reach out to Dylan at Vector and ask any questions, his details will be all over it. And mate, I wish you the best of luck with everything that you're trying to achieve, and I'm sure you will.
Top man. Thanks, Elliot. Speak soon, bud.
Thanks, Dylan.